The squad car's lights strobed across my old barn like it was the climax of a crime show. Inside the taped-off perimeter, I calmly finished tightening a bolt on my brand-new, fully permitted grain silo. HOA President Lynette Harlow shrilled to the sergeant. He refused to comply with the architectural committee. This is a direct violation of our sightline covenants. I, Daniel Crow, walked to the edge of my property line.
Sergeant, I called.
Before you step onto my land, you'll want to read that court order you were served this morning. The sergeant unfolded the paper, read it, and muttered, "Ah hell. We just walked into a setup."
I shrugged. A trap.
Legal distinction. I had bought back my great-grandfather's farm, Crow Farm, established 1924, bordering Lynette's Maple Ridge Estates HOA. Lynette first appeared with a binder, declaring my rustic structures a problem. I quickly informed her, "I'm the guy who isn't in your HOA. That's how this works." Her escalation was relentless, filing complaints about my neglected livestock, fat chickens, my noise, and eventually claiming my farm machinery was a community problem. Every authority figure she called left annoyed, not at me, but at the HOA's false reports. I studied the law and found the Agricultural Heritage Preservation Act, which granted protection to my 100-year-old farm. The county stamped it, Crow Farm designated heritage agricultural property. Lynette escalated from annoying to criminally creative. She sent a certified letter claiming my barn violated an aesthetic easement signed by my grandfather 30 years ago. I checked the recorder's office. No easement existed. The document was a forgery. My lawyer, Miguel Arroyo, was delighted. They forged an easement. Lynette began a public smear campaign, claiming my new silo was unpermitted construction and I was threatening board members. She filed a formal complaint with the sheriff, attaching her forged easement and incident reports. Miguel's plan: document her crimes using law enforcement resources. I applied for and received permits for the silo and barn reinforcement. Miguel quietly sent copies of every legitimate permit to the sheriff's office and the county attorney. If anyone tells you these structures are illegal, they're lying. The night of the raid, Lynette marched onto my property with her board and the sergeant. She ducked under the contractor's tape, yelling, "I'm ordering a stop work." The sergeant had been briefed. He and his deputy opened the envelope I'd taped to the porch. Inside was the court order: law enforcement may not interfere with permitted work on Crow Farm. All interactions were to be recorded and preserved due to an ongoing inquiry into potential false reports. The sergeant radioed, "Dispatch, this is 12. Can you confirm if Internal Affairs and the county attorney are monitoring this call as requested in Memo C-27? The radio crackled back, "Affirmative." The sergeant faced Lynette. "Mrs. Harlow, are you in your capacity as HOA president, asserting to law enforcement that you have a legally recorded easement granting you control over this property structures?" "Yes," she said, brandishing the faux easement. "And are you aware that the county recorder's office has stated no such easement exists in their records?" She stammered, "It must be an administrative error." The county attorney's voice crackled from the radio. "Please advise Mrs. Harlow that she is dangerously close to admitting to filing a knowingly false instrument and making fraudulent reports to law enforcement." Board members edged away from Lynette. The sergeant concluded, "Ma'am, his rules are backed by state law. Yours appear to be backed by stationery." The fallout hit like a summer storm. Internal Affairs opened a formal case. The state attorney general charged her with filing a false report, attempting to file a forged instrument, and harassment. As part of her plea deal, Lynette was fined $12,000, sentenced to community service, and banned from serving on any HOA or neighborhood association board in the state for 10 years. When the judge read the sentence, Lynette's voice cracked. $12,000, for trying to protect property values?
"No, ma'am," the judge said.
"For harassment, filing false reports, and wasting law enforcement resources with forged documents. There's a difference." Lynette sank into her chair, her power finally extinguished.